And, you know, I didn't blow the guy's heart out.
Yeah, it's not
you got to blame the Cali man? You going to take money out of my table for that?
I'll give him $1 tomorrow night.
You didn't snort all that cocaine.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. Partly sunny and likely thunderstorms the rest of the day with a wind coming out of the south-southwest around 7 miles per hour and 85. Tonight, look for partly cloudy skies with a temperature near 77. Tomorrow, a high around 89 and mostly sunshine in the morning, followed by a likelihood of thunderstorms. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hi folks, it's Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right, she has over 20 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within a week, so don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into a new setting and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 50 years.
Hewitt Tire and Auto.
Call 850-769-7323.
Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and Hometown Towing.
Need a tow? Call Billy at Hometown Towing, 850-265-1562.
Are you hungry for authentic Mexican cuisine? Then come to El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, where we serve up the freshest, most flavorful dishes on the beach. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, a great location, comfortable atmosphere, and happy hour from 3 to 7. Buy one, get one free, regular margaritas and 12-ounce house drafts. And you're going to love their lunch specials, Monday through Friday from 11 to 3. Plus, live music Wednesdays and Saturdays starting at 5:30. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, Thomas Drive, across from the Navy base.
And 10908 Front Beach Road.
Hey, everything okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Honey. Hey, I'm here for you. Tell me about school today.
When kids can't find the right words, music can help them sound it out. Talk to the kids in your life about their emotional well-being. Find tools and resources at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. John. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida. Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios.
Knocked away and intercepted. Ball game. The fairy tale continues.
The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air.
The breakthrough for the U.S.
4.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What is up, Panama City Beach, and surrounding areas? You're now riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Tuned in to ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3 here in Panama City. 4th annual Pop's Pig Pick Barbecue coming to you this Saturday, June 14th from 12 to 6 p.m. All proceeds going to benefit hurricane relief efforts that Chef Ross is going to be bringing to the table during hurricane season. Dinner tickets are $20. Pool tournament is going to be at 1 p.m. That's $15. All of this in honor of his dad, Ron Pops Robinson. I'm David Hayes along with Banji Bombadella and Caveman Rick. We're the Afternoon Underdogs live and loud from the CBC Construction Studios. You can visit cbcconstruction.com or call them at 850-747-3815 for all of your construction needs. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can like and share our Facebook feed and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also go to your Google Play or your Apple Store, type in 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, download that app, and take us with you wherever you go. 850-215 855-6290 is the number to the Red 7Ts phone line. Red 7T is the brand that brands you. Our text-in question of the day, what's the first jersey that you ever owned, and do you still have it? We're going to be doing this today at 4:40. What's the first jersey that you ever owned, and do you still have it? Text that answer in to the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. Atlanta Braves.
Do we have to talk about them?
Well, good things happened today.
Right today.
We won today.
Yeah, but sir, actually, I have a bone to pick with you.
All right, let's pick the bones.
I came in here last week.
Yeah,
I said we suck, right?
Yeah.
And you were just like, no, you can't say that. We proceeded to lose 7 straight. Mind you, we are 3-17 in our last 20 games.
Drop off.
Just stop preaching for the guy back there. That's the choir right now.
No, because it's your fault. Because I was
it's not my fault. No, you're not going to put this on one single Braves fan.
Yeah,
Blame Snicker.
Hopefully we'll switch it around.
Put it on Snicker's shoulders.
No, it's on David Hayes because he said we might switch it around. We've lost 7 games as soon as I left this building.
Okay, all right, so that's fair. I'm not going to sit there and accept all the blame. I will say that I'm still in the same position, Banji, where hear me out. Mm-hmm. I will recognize that right now the Braves suck.
There we go.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Right now the Braves suck. After a 6-2 win today, they won the series for the first time in a long time. Mm-hmm. Two wins against the Brewers, the first and the third game of the series. Last night was, they got back to their normal selves, losing 4-1. I will say right now that they suck, but I can't write off a team that's got that much talent on it right yet. They're beyond underperforming. Yes. No one's going to have an argument about that. And I didn't have an argument about that last week. It's just saying that there's no chance for this team. To me, I can't say that yet. I can't say that. And it's not, I don't think it's just because I'm a fan. If I was looking at, if it was the Padres who were in the same position, mm-hmm. or if it was, a team who, they have the roster to put it together. Yeah. Just because you have the roster doesn't mean that it's going to be put together. No. There's injuries, which is what we dealt with last year. Then this year, it's not as much about the injury bug as it is just not playing good baseball, not playing good baseball in every facet of the game every single night, or at least give me 75% of the nights having all 3 facets of the game being offense, starting pitching, and your bullpen pitching. Give me 75% of the nights where all 3 of those are in concert or in cohesion. Then the Braves will be playing at a better level. But the bullpen, I think, is the biggest answer or the biggest question to answer right now. And a lot of people want to look to the shortstop and listen, the offense needs to step up. It has to step up. But you got 6 runs today. It might be an every other day thing. I still think there's a chance for this team to do World Series things. No, this team doesn't. They don't have the pitching for that. But maybe to make an appearance in the play. I don't know what would hurt worse. Getting to, having this terrible season, then getting to the wild card round and exiting in the first round of the playoffs, or just missing the playoffs entirely after how bad last year was for the roster, but still finding a way to make the postseason.
Yeah, I could somewhat agree with that, but also, I look today, we're only 2.5 games above the Marlins.
Yeah, it's like any aspect that you take a deeper dive into with the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, we're bad.
Yes,
if you look deep into it, we're really bad.
The crap-eating grin that Caveman Rick has back there, he's like, I don't even have to say anything. I just get to listen to these Braves fans bash their team, and it's a great feeling. And this is in the midst of which...
At least you guys aren't delusional. At least you guys aren't like FSU fans or something like that.
Oh, my goodness. He's got to find a way to stab any available fan base that's here in the listening area. But, yes, it's and this is in the midst of the Phillies who did get their win today, but the Phillies are having a time of their own. So, man, the Nationals are moving on up. Phillies they might be losing a lot, but they're not losing a whole lot of ground.
We're not losing any ground now. I mean, the Mets are still going to do their thing, and so not even nowhere near close pushing a panic button or anything like that.
Yeah.
If the Marlins pass us up, we ring the alarm.
Okay, fair. Now here's a question.
All right.
So if the Marlins do pass you guys up or something. We already talked that it's probably not going to happen, but snit. Like, if something like that happens, is that when like they're like, "Yo, dude, this is like enough, dude. We gotta cut the cord here."
Are we talking like the Marlins passed the Braves in the standings for 1 or 2 days, or are we saying
not 1 or 2
week
days,
long?
but like a little bit of time.
How long? What duration do the Marlins need to be above the Atlanta Braves before one of the more optimistic people when it comes to the Atlanta Braves?
It's like 2 or 3 weeks of being below them, then you might
2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, because that's like
if it's
that'd
2
be
or
like
3
that's
weeks.
like,
Yes, it's time to. I have thrown it. If we are in 5th place of the National League East for 2 or 3 weeks, I write off. I will write this season into the sunset. I'll take a little SpaceX ship to the sun and ride
You're
it
basically like almost a week off right there. I mean, it's just 4 games. It's 4 games. It's 1 week right there. You have one bad week, and the Marlins have one really good week. You're basically tied with them, or
3
you know what I
wins
mean?
in the past 20 games. Like, think about that. Like, it's hard.
It's
hard. I get the notification every day of just loss. I'm like,
That's why you need to like do other things. I mean, like you can still. Well, I mean, like, okay, so
it's
like
baseball
today,
season, Brett.
I hear you. Like, okay, so you can like wager something, like say on these games, right? You don't have to take the Braves to win.
Don't just root for them.
You can bet
hey,
on
lose your money with them. Show your fanaticism.
You can bet on them to lose. You can bet on certain people to not get hits or not get strikeouts and things if they're not playing well. And you can still turn that negative into a positive in your wallet or in your bank account.
Pete Rose was betting on his team to win, as far as we know. As far as we know. I will say that I did make a nice little chunk of change betting against the Titans last year.
I feel like that probably brings it every year. Like the Titans.
There's been a few years where it hasn't, and I've been foolish enough to bet on the Titans.
Well,
but
this year, you know what
last year was putting big money against. Well, to me, big money against the Titans.
I mean, this year you should probably do the same thing.
You think against the Titans? I'm hearing some good things about Cam Ward in training camp, which doesn't affect my thought. Yes, it doesn't. Shut up, bitch. I hate how real you keep it, but you're right. But yeah, he threw a pick today on his 3rd throw, and then went 7 of 7, and or went 14 of 14 or 13 of 14 on his next few pass attempts, which again doesn't mean anything. But there are some. It's nice that we're getting these storylines and whatnot out of it's better than having nothing, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's like getting all the Shadur Sanders stuff out of Cleveland, like, oh, he's not getting that many first team reps. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah,
he's a 5th round pick. Like, I mean, what were you expecting?
Right. For me, I guess it's more of the holdouts and how long they're going to end up holding out. I mean, the Bengals, oh golly, they're in a tough spot too, because the whole Shamar Stewart, which I haven't looked into it enough to know exactly what's going on. I just know he's not under contract, right? Yeah. We heard that very loud and clear. Trey Hendrickson is at 1% in the wrong, according to Shamar Stewart, but Shamar Stewart's
not at all. I mean,
because he's technically under contract, though. So Shamar does have a point right there.
My thing with Shamar is like, but technically, is he not a Bengal though? Like, yes, he got drafted, but he hasn't signed a contract. Is he?
They own his rights, though, so he is a Bengal.
He's a Bengal to that extent, but he's not under contract as far as practicing.
Because if he wants to play in the league, he's got to play for them, or they have to trade his rights away. That's it.
I do know one thing. When he was making that video, I know that the emblems and logos on his clothes were Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was in the locker room.
He was in it's hard to get in those NFL locker rooms.
He goes to practice, but he just doesn't participate. So I'm just like, just watching.
That's essentially what they're doing.
So you don't get fined.
Yeah, you could be in the building, but if you're not practicing, if you're in the building, you won't get fined. But if you're not in the building, then it's $17,000 the first day, $34,000 the second day, and $50-something the third day.
I would just make. You're basically media at this point. Just make some videos.
Yeah,
like, honestly,
and his content will pop off already just because of what his name is. So.
But dang, I think it's something I did some little research, but like something about like a clause in the contract is what they're like
a practice clause or something where they don't
injury clause.
Yeah, like that's.
But he's like, that's what everyone's contract is. Like, he talked about Mims, who was a rookie last year. Like, he put in his contract like the same thing. So he's like, what are y'all doing differently than what y'all did the years before? So I'm kind of with him on that. But like, also, you're 15, number 15 overall pick. Like, you're a rookie. you really got nothing to say. Maybe his agents are probably telling him something different.
Oh, yeah.
And they probably know more because, they're the ones doing all the negotiating. So it does make him look bad, but I'd be more inclined to think at least he's in the building.
I like the fact that he's in the building. There is something to be said, not that it carries any weight, but about what you just mentioned with him being not just a 15th overall pick, but just a rookie in general. Like you don't just get to come to the league and start calling your shots, but you haven't signed your name on the dotted line. And if you're looking out, if your agents are primarily looking out for something in that contract that's could be a benefactor or could be a negative towards your health, I mean, that's an important situation right there, I would say, depending on what the verbiage is that we're looking at in the contract.
Yeah, like if you're starting a new job and they said they're going to hire you, and then you start the negotiating process, you can say what shots you want. No matter how little to no experience you might have, you can still at least say, okay, this is what I want. This is what I want to bring to the table. So I get it.
They should know they're going to play hardball. I mean, like, look at the Hendrickson situation. So, I mean, he's proven himself and has been the sack leader the last 2 years, and he's getting treated like this. Who in the hell are you? What have you done? Not a damn thing. Sit down and shut up and get in line, dude, and do your job.
Another thing, though, for the Bengals is where this is really not good. The fact that Trey Hendrickson has led the league back-to-back years in sacks.
He's been good his whole entire career. The Saints, he was great. Like, he's been great his entire career.
What's been the hold back? What's been holding the Bengals back? Well, a kicking game, but a defense. Well, and their defense, though,
right? Though, man,
right.
Wouldn't have they ever paid anybody? They don't. That's
but where did all their money go? Joe Burrow,
wide receivers,
Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. Right.
But they took their time on that too.
They did. They milked the cow.
They just like to take their time, but.
Well, and they didn't think they were going to have to do this. They were milling over just paying 2 wide receivers, and then Trey Hendrickson blindsides them with this. You know?
They're like, we thought we had one more year. Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast. Do you think that they'll get that ironed out? I mean, obviously the Trey Hendrickson contract is more important than the Shamar Stewart.
Yeah.
If they want to win, they need to, man. Because if they don't, they ain't going nowhere. He just paid these wide receivers all this money. Now they're going to be malcontents because you're not going to be winning a damn thing.
He's the best defensive player they got, but their defense was ranked 32nd in the league last year. So if you don't sign him, how bad do you think your defense is really going to be this year?
How bad do you want it if you don't sign him? You can't. You're not showing your fans. I don't think you're not showing your own players that you care about winning.
That's what I'm saying. When you have 2 wide receivers that were clamoring for all this money and you're giving it to them and they're happy for like a couple months, and now they're going to go into the season knowing that they're not going to do it. Like, even if they make the playoffs, where are they going?
Yeah. I hate the stigma that comes along with that, especially for a guy like T. Higgins. Because don't get me wrong, I mean, we get these holdouts all the time, and 9 times out of 10 they're good for the bag aspect of it, but it really sets the team back coming into the season. And I hate that for T. Higgins, but T. Higgins I felt like was in a more difficult spot than what Jamar Chase was. Jamar Chase just had to open up his mouth and he's gonna get money, right? But T. Higgins could be a number 1 on a lot of other teams, and he's not getting the love, so he has to, sit there and be like, all right, well, I'm going to have to put myself in timeout if y'all aren't going to pay me as well.
Look at Tariq. He got the bag, and then he was complaining.
Yeah.
I hate it so much when,
8 games in the season.
You can tell a player wants to be there. They want to stay on that team, but, the money isn't just adding up, so now it's like, you got to make me look like the bad guy.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but, I don't know what they're going to do, because... how much is Myles Garrett making? He's making $45
million a year.
Yeah,
that's
I think it's
crazy.
50.
But that's how much they should pay Trey Hendrickson.
But again, it's the Browns too doing that deal.
But you had the same situation kind of unfolding, not as highly talked or not talked about as much. But T.J. Watt, he's not there at camp either, and he's.
But the Steelers, they're the team too. Look at their history, man. Bro. They're the kind of team. They're not going to overpay people. You know what I mean? They're gonna.
They signed Aaron Rodgers, and I feel like they got worse somehow. I don't. Man, they're in perpetual hell.
The win total, which isn't very high, the win total for the Steelers this year, which if Adam does find a way to make it in today, is going to be one of the 4 questions for Fano. But do the Steelers get over 9.5 wins with Aaron Rodgers? Or 8.5 is 8.5 wins. So 9 wins. So basically it's the status quo, the getting 1 game now, either 500, when we were playing 16 games, but now 1 game above 500. Do you think the Steelers make it back to that area? Forget the playoffs. The only thing that matters is the win total. Do they get 9 wins?
9.
We can go through their schedule if you want to.
I don't think so, because DK Metcalf's going to find a way to get suspended. Aaron Rodgers.
What makes you say that? Because I don't think we've seen him suspended before, have we? He's gotten close.
He's gotten kicked out of games.
Yeah.
So
what makes you think?
No George Pickens distraction. So I feel like he's now the centerpiece of. And he has
the centerpiece of attention.
He has such a short temper.
Yeah.
Like, I've watched a lot of Seahawks games where he just forgets the game and just goes after people. So I just see him.
It's fun to watch.
It's very fun to watch. And then Aaron, let's see if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't, I don't want to wish injury on anybody, but what if we have, Jets Part 1 where he went out for 2 minutes and then got injured end of season. So, and that's it. Like, Will Howard's going to be your quarterback then after that? Like, what is happening over there?
It could be Will Howard. Who else did they have?
Mason Rudolph.
Mason, yeah. I mean, come on now. You can't forget Mr. Red-Nosed Rudolph, who was a Tennessee Titan last year. But, hey, Will Howard could impress people as well. Do you know who the Steelers start their season out against?
Who?
The Jets.
Oof.
That's game 1 of the season. Justin Fields, I had forgot about the fact that Justin Fields, obviously he went to Ohio State, but he's reuniting with Garrett Wilson over there.
Yeah.
That's a plus. It's like... I think Benji is starting to hate my optimism. He's like, what, do you just find anything that you could just well, that's
just too positive. It's like sometimes you have to recognize that some things are just bad.
Well, there's familiarity there. They already have a rapport. So, making the connection, should be a lot easier.
But it's like the whole thing with, the Browns, how the Browns as an organization suck.
Yeah.
The Jets as a whole will suck no matter who's there.
Right.
So it's like Justin Fields, I slightly root for him, not really, but I feel like that game's going to end up in a tie.
That would be interesting. A 3-3 tie. No touchdown scored at all. Oh, that would be so interesting.
0-0 tie. Nobody scores.
That would be fine, too. But I would like the fact that, each team scores a field goal, but they got into scoring position or field goal position by way of a interception or a fumble recovery or something like that. So, the offense, it was like Alabama versus LSU back in...
Oh, those are some of them.
2011? Yeah. Those were the days. But that'll be Steelers-Jets. That'll be a game with a lot of storylines.
Probably not a lot of points, though.
Probably not a lot of points. Which team do you think is going to do better this year, Steelers or the Jets?
I'd give it to the Jets.
Okay.
Somehow.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
probably
Steelers.
Jets, maybe because of their division, but I don't. Yeah, that's tough.
Even then,
you got to think about the division, all the competition,
But I would say that the AFC North is going to be a little bit tougher. Just guessing. I would say that it's a little bit more competitive just because we don't know the direction of the Patriots. We don't know the direction of the Browns, but I think it's pretty easy to say that the Browns can't
North,
be that good.
You have two teams that are basically already guaranteed a playoff spot.
Ravens and Bengals.
Right. And when you go to the AFC East, there's only one.
Buffalo.
Buffalo, that's it. Yeah. Everybody else is a question.
Dolphins and Patriots are beatable for the Jets, I think.
Who else is oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But for the Steelers, I don't think they've got no shot against the Bengals, I don't think. And then Browns is probably the only team I feel like they might have a shot against, but
they probably finished third in the division. Steelers more than likely. But I know Joe Flacco, though, man. Seriously, though, man.
Hey, I'm right there with you, buddy. Team optimism.
No, seriously. I don't think it's going out on a limb to say Joe Flacco has a better season than Aaron Rodgers.
You know what?
Statistically, and maybe even with wins.
I say Aaron Rodgers plays more games than Joe Flacco.
Flacco lasts.
That's possible. They both have young quarterbacks waiting, though. So if stuff goes south, then they could move on to the youth.
That's a good point. But I would say that it's more likely the Jets or not the Jets. The Browns are more apt to, because they first off, they don't have a direction as a franchise. So they don't make good decisions as it is. So now you're going to have 4 quarterbacks where most people are having a 1-2 battle. Now you're going to have 4 guys essentially competing for the number 1 quarterback spot. That's not sensible as well. So they're gonna jump the gun. They're gonna either start the wrong guy, or they're gonna start Flacco, and then they're gonna rush in Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, and Dylan's gonna get a week. Then Shedur's gonna get a week, and everyone's just gonna be laughing at the Cleveland Browns because they couldn't pick us. That's why I think it's so. We've seen the Redskins do it, right, when they went Kirk Cousins and RG3, right? But outside of that, how often do you get quarterbacks so close together, you're setting yourself up for failure.
That's a good question.
I mean, I don't know. I don't see this happening often.
I mean, it's good to have some insurance. I mean,
yeah, but there's a difference in insurance and drafting a quarterback in the 3rd round and then in the 6th round and then seeing what you got there, rather than taking guys who are right there and say, you know what, we don't know which guy we actually like better, so let's just find out. Which, if you feel that crazy about it, then go ahead and do it, Browns, and they did it.
They had a good draft overall, though.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
And if you hit on both, then you got a nice trade piece, too. You got a blue chip right there that you can move.
How would you ever know if you never play? Like, what if one sticks out above the other?
Because, I mean, if you spend like a 6th-round pick or a 5th-round pick on a guy that turns out, you can parlay that into like a 2nd-rounder or something. I mean, first is probably a stretch, but...
Then we'd just be talking about practice. He does good in practice, but we don't ever see him in the game. Someone get AI over here. Not the artificial intelligence either. Talk about the answer. Allen Iverson. Someone said on social media the other day that they miss the days when people said AI, it meant Allen Iverson and not artificial intelligence, and not knowing, am I watching a real legitimate news clip right now? Or isn't it crazy? And that's the stuff that we're seeing that just regular, everyday human beings can whip up.
You got to be smart, too, because some of those people are playing clips of videos from stuff from 4 or 5 years ago, too, that isn't CGI.
You're not talking about, but what I'm talking about right now is strictly artificial intelligence. You can tell it whenever the individual, the main character, looks different every single scene that comes up, and then like the 4th scene is always an Australian accent, right? And then the fingers are all messed up. I mean, my goodness gracious. We are here, though. We have entered into the future, and the future of the Afternoon Underdogs, or at least the next segment coming up, is going to be talking the NBA Finals with Banji Bamadella. You're right with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Keep it locked in. We'll be right back.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
Rely on it.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. Partly sunny and likely thunderstorms the rest of the day with a wind coming out of the south-southwest around 7 miles per hour and 85. Tonight, look for partly cloudy skies with a temperature near 77. Tomorrow, a high around 89 and mostly sunshine in the morning, followed by a likelihood of thunderstorms. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Father's Day is coming soon, and you want your special dad to be recognized as the world's greatest, right? A gift from That Boot Store will be just the thing to show you really care. Select from a huge selection of name brand Western wear in sizes to fit any dad, young and old, and at a price you can afford. For that hardworking dad, Carhartt work clothes will be the perfect gift. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5:30. Next to Bill Bird Kia on 15th Street, Panama City. That Boot Store, where God is good all the time.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. Chop on, Braves fans.
That is gone!
Since 2017, your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Whenever Arnold... Welcome back into the Doghouse. You're riding along with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes, along with Banji Bamadella and Caveman Rick. You can call or text us on the Red 7 T's phone line at 850-215-6290. Red 7 Tees, the brand that brands you. Call them at 850-612-7007 or visit their website at red7tees.com. Our call-in or text-in question of the day, what's the first jersey you ever owned, and do you still have it? 850-215-6290. Before we dive into the NBA Finals, Benji Bombadella on the line with us. How about the Knicks? You had Jason Kidd, Mavericks current coach. There was some mutual interest between the teams, but the Mavericks have cut off those discussions, as well as
Ime Udoka.
Yeah, and Finch from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yeah. So there's 3 options that are now not on the table. What do you think is next for the Knicks? Who's someone? Do they try to reel Popovich out of the Spurs front of El Jefe? No. There you go.
Spike Lee.
Yeah, Spike.
I would
do like a president. You know, Donald Trump won the presidency based on his popularity. So so the Knicks make a Donald Trump type.
That's a reach.
High right there. I mean,
I was gonna go maybe more like Jay Wright.
Okay, he's already said no. He's already said no. Who else has said no to it? There was someone else. Patino, St. John's.
Nobody wants that job, though.
Isn't that? And
Jay Wright's got ties because Brunson and
Josh Hart.
That would be get DiVincenzo back, get Dante back over there. Yeah. Did they have a bad breakup?
Brunson's dad. He don't mess with Brunson's dad.
Oh. Yeah. Well, if it's Brunson or Dante,
they're gonna choose Brunson.
Yeah, I mean, who would?
People are already saying Brunson's better than Melo, so which is
which is wild, right? Yeah. But it's also one of those things. Brunson. And he's the leader in playoff scoring the last 2 years. Yeah. And he didn't even play the duration of the playoffs either along the way. So,
yeah.
I don't know. He's pretty dang good. We'll find out. I hope bad things for the Knicks, just to be honest with you. So, that is just fine by me. Speaking of Melo, man, I started an NBA 2K franchise last night that I replaced all the team with the all-time teams.
Okay.
So it's all-time teams, and then I added 2 franchises, the Seattle Supersonics, and then I'm the Looney Tunes, Space Jam. Okay. But so basically what I did was have an expansion draft where me and the Supersonics took the players that were cut from each of the teams, and so Carmelo was my best player that I picked up. So that's who
he got cut?
I don't know which team cut him, because you'll have the all-time players, but then you'll have, he's not a current player, so then it would have had to been the Nuggets, I guess. No, there would be multiple versions of Carmelo, because he would be on the Knicks all-time team, he'd be on the Nuggets all-time team.
Maybe the Hawks, he was there for 10 days.
There you go. That's one of my favorite things about 2K is being able to play with the different teams and the different eras. Then when you're playing a game in one of the older gyms or whatever, it's got the old screen effects and everything. I love that. I'm
excited for all the new games that come out.
Which one is at the top of your radar list when it comes to video games?
College Football 26?
College Football 26. Yes. I'm a bigger college football fan than what I am Madden, and this year proved it because we finally got it back, and I played way more college football than I did Madden. But Madden was a great product.
But if Madden went away for 10 years in college football,
then it would have been vice versa.
Yes,
of
course.
Yeah. But with Madden this year, they're apparently making a lot of upgrades to the franchise and stuff like that, which that's my favorite mode is franchise. But yeah, they're supposed to be making a lot of improvements to that, so looking forward to that. Grand Theft Auto 6 isn't until next year, so I guess that one doesn't necessarily. So they say. That's a good point. What else? Is there anything else out there that's kind of popular right now? I don't really play the popular games as much as I do.
They stalled out on some of the big names, I think, like the Fallouts and stuff like that.
Are we already getting ready for a new... I've been noticing a lot of talk. I think it's more so they just dropped the Nintendo Switch.
The second one?
The second one, Nintendo Switch 2. And then Xbox, I guess, is coming out with a little handheld type version.
Okay.
It's basically
like a PSP, but an Xbox version?
Yeah. Essentially like that, which they've never done that. I've never seen an Xbox or Microsoft. I know that they have this ROG Microsoft handheld type deal, but it's basically just like a computer that has a controller accessibility to it. So I don't know. Interesting there, but we're not getting new consoles anytime soon.
Like PS6?
Yeah.
There's still people who haven't gotten
the
PS5.
PS5. Like, let's
crazy.
pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. NBA Finals, though, you and everyone else have been on the Thunder train, and for good reason. But what are some of your takeaways or your thoughts from Game 1 and Game 2 so far?
The Thunder are the best team for a solid 38 minutes. It's all about just keeping that lead. That's my takeaway. Also, Halliburton looked tired in Game 2.
Yeah, and looked limping coming off of the press conference stage.
And it showed, because how long did they rest him? I feel like they rested him for the last 3 minutes of the third quarter, and then they finally put him in at the start of the fourth. And he took a long break where it was just like, that's when OKC really extended their lead. But like Game 2, the Pacers weren't really in it for the whole game mostly. But I would say my big takeaway is just probably that Shea's averaging 36 in the series. It's annoying because it's like his game is not pretty to watch, but he'll always just end up getting 36, 35. And I say it's not pretty because yes, three-point shooting has ruined the NBA, but watching mid-ranges to me is boring.
Okay.
Unless,
so that's why because Shea's not as shooting from the perimeter
or
as much.
Flashy at the rim. It's so
and he
slow.
gets 13 free throws a game as well.
Too.
Which you can't blame him on that.
Well, you can, because he came out and said that he's actually taking dives and he's drawing the calls. So it's his fault.
Okay, but
per him.
That's not his fault. That's playing the game the way that the game is called, though. That's the official's fault.
That's still taking a dive, dude. Like that's like in soccer. If you do that, or like in hockey, where they penalize you.
Exactly.
You're
exactly. So if the NBA officials officiated the difference in diving, and that's where I'm getting at.
They said they were going to stop. They were going to stop giving those calls.
Yeah, it depends on who you are.
2-3 years ago. Yeah, like Trae Young, because Trae Young used to be a big one. Harden.
If you're getting them, why wouldn't you do that? That's gamesmanship. It's like leaning into a pitch in baseball. They do that all the time. But if you get caught doing that, that's just a ball.
They should call it more. It's embellishment. I mean, he physically stood there and he said that that's what he was doing. So call him out on it. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude.
I'm with you on that, but I'm not going to blame a player for, okay, this is how they call. It's the same way as a pitcher when you get used to the strike zone. And you know that that's not a strike, but the umpire's been calling it a strike all day long. Then why would you not attack that?
But are you then going to be like, you're going to come out and say, I knew that wasn't a strike, but
you might as well say, if they're going to give it to me, I'm going to take it.
Okay.
That's. I mean, I would love to see them. No one does.
I don't think. See them calling him, like embellishing it, and then see if he gripes about it. Like, oh, come on, after he done said this. Just for myself, I would like to see that, just to see what his reaction would be, or if he would just like turn his back and walk away and be like, yeah, well, I tried.
I would like to see them start calling flops and stuff like that. Or at least be able to have a certain amount of challenges about that.
If you were like, if you had it in the back of your mind that you were going to get called for embellishment, you might not do it. But since it's never called, these guys
how often do you see on the inbound pass they lock up or whatever, and then one of the guys pushes off to get some separation, and the guy who was pushed off of falls down? No, we all know that was not a severe push. They should have never lost balance or whatever. But then the whistle happens. Who gets called? The guy who barely pushed off. So that's taking a dive right there, but we see that happen all the time. I mean, dadgum, it felt like the the Oilers were taking dives when they were getting their tails beat the other night in the hockey Stanley Cup Finals there. What was that, Game 3?
Yeah.
Game 3, just nothing but fights down the stretch. What's the key keys for each team here, but... What's the key? Let's start with the Pacers. I feel like they need more keys to unlock the formula to a win than what the Thunder do. I think the Thunder can just beat the Thunder, and then that's the winning formula.
Just figure out just a way to lock down Shea, but like Mathurin was getting cooked.
Yeah.
They need to either switch, but like, who would you switch on to Shea? Like Nembhard, maybe?
Yeah, maybe Nembhard. The two guys who I've seen guarding the best player, the best offensive player has been Nesmith and Mathurin. And Nembhard. So it's like a trio that they kind of rotate.
Put Mathurin somewhere else. Like when I tell you every time, and you can look at his face that he was just tired of it. It was just like, put somebody else on Shea.
Yeah.
But that's definitely just you have to basically have Siakam have another game of his life because he didn't show up in game 2 like he's supposed to. And then Halliburton, I mean, he just needs to be more active. Like, I know his game is more, assisting and then scoring when he can, but, like, sometimes you just got to be that guy where you're like, I'm just going to go and try to, like, get my own shot. Yeah. Because I remember it was, like, maybe, like, deep in the second quarter, he only had 3 points. And I was just like...
Starting the second half, he only had 3 points.
I was like, sir, you need to, like, just put the ball up more. Like, there's sometimes, like, you want to be unselfish and all that, but sometimes, man, just shoot. Just shoot. Even if your shot isn't going down, like, we've seen plenty of players, when their shot isn't going down, they will just throw it up. Yeah. And sometimes you got to do that to get back in rhythm. So Pacers need to just find consistency. Toppin, Nembhard, Nesmith, Mathurin, they need their auxiliary players to step up. Like, they just, because when the Thunder are going on a run, especially defensively on the fast break, when the Thunder just get rolling, it's like you have to figure out a way to stop that. So that to me is like the biggest, and that's the hardest thing too, because Shea's actually a pretty good defender. Yeah, him, Caruso, those two.
Caruso's been an underrated, and I think if you've watched the Thunder all year long or since he came from Chicago. No one else is surprised by it. And if you watched him back there with in 2020 with the Lakers, like that was kind of his coming out party, or maybe it was the year prior to that. But you know what Caruso's capable, but I think he's risen to another level here with the Thunder because he fits perfectly into that role. He doesn't need to be even a top 5 guy for the Thunder, as what he kind of had to try to be with the Lakers. And so now he gets to be out there. He shoots lights out from the perimeter, but he also plays great perimeter defense, and that's the Thunder's MO. That's what's been, it's not even just the turnovers, it's how hard everyone's talking about the pace that the Pacers push and the Thunder having to match up to that. But when the Thunder are playing suffocating defense, that's also tiresome for the Indiana Pacers, possession in and possession out.
Yeah, and that's a big problem for the Pacers, the turnovers. Yeah. The turnovers. But, yeah, Caruso, like, when I, like, see him play, I'm just like, this is, like, a better version of Josh Hart. Yeah. It's just like that's just like what it is. And, yeah, that's why I'm like, the Thunders, they just have everything, man. Like the bigs. Yeah. Y'all don't win the bigs battle at all. You got Miles Turner.
The only battle that we win is we talked about it last week, the clutch battle. Yeah. And you have to get to the clutch in order for that to even be a ramification, which they did get.
As long as you're within 15, you have a chance, apparently.
Their clutch parameters, the lines there are a little bit wider than what it is for most teams. All right, I've got some prop bets I want us to dive into. We'll do that in the next segment, but we'll do these two really quick. The first one's rather easy. Overtime, yes or no? Yes is plus 800, no minus 3,000. Are we getting overtime in Game 3 tonight?
No.
Absolutely not. Not even.
Somebody's getting blown out.
Well, we know who you're thinking about. What do you think the spread is? How much do the Thunder beat the Pacers by tonight?
Ooh, I'll go 16.
16. Come on, man. 16. That's what Game 2 was. Yeah. I know. It still stings, bro. Even if I know it's coming, it still stings.
Think about how much the Thunder have been up on the Pacers. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah. Oh, Game 2 looked like when they got to 20 points, and you're just like, this is how this game is going for the rest of the night. It didn't feel the same as what it did Game 1. But then again, it's harder to look back and know how you were feeling when the Pacers were losing, when the outcome was them winning the game. Yeah. That's tough right there. Which quarter will be the highest scoring quarter tonight? The first is at plus 325, second at plus 325, third at plus 130, and the fourth at plus 400. Third quarter. All right. Yeah. So the more favorable as far as odds go, third quarter at plus 130. You're right with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. When we get back, we're going to be asking Banji about some of the player props for tonight's Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Call in. Text us on the Red 7T phone line, 850-215-6290. We'll be right back.
Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
I buy socks from the supermarket. Is that weird?
Yes, that's strange. Supermarket socks?
I support it. You're going to rip every sock anyway.
No, some socks are very nice. And you want to take care of them.
There's a certain level of comfort.
I like supermarket socks.
Well, if you like it, then you like it.
Yeah, you like it, but I assume that you like it because you don't know no better.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. Partly sunny and likely thunderstorms the rest of the day with a wind coming out of the south-southwest around 7 miles per hour and 85. Tonight, look for partly cloudy skies with a temperature near 77. Tomorrow, a high around 89 and mostly sunshine in the morning, followed by a likelihood of thunderstorms. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit red7tees.com.
MLB is incoming, and you won't miss a game. Introducing Scorpion TV. Over 5,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN+, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch 400 local network channels from Panama City and most major markets. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. Just $45 a month with our promo code ESPNNW. Go to ESPNPC.com and click the Scorpion TV logo.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. Don't call it a podcast.
Frequency modulation is a big step forward in radio.
Broadcasting live from the world's most beautiful beaches. The Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're in the doghouse riding along with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes along with Caveman Rick and Banji Bombadella. Banji is the local sports reporter here for the Panama City News Herald. Does a great job. We're in the off season right now, so he's still pumping out great content, but we don't have a lot of off season content to talk about in the local sports world, so we've been talking NBA Finals. The number to call or text us is 850-215-6290. That is the Red 7 Tees phone line. We're live and local from the CBC Construction Studio. You can go visit cbcconstruction.com for all of your construction needs. If you already got your house constructed and you're having some issues with your plumbing or your air conditioning, our confident service technicians at Hiller Plumbing will provide you with the solution for any home plumbing, heating, or cooling problem. Let us show you how we can make you a happy Hiller customer. Contact your trusted licensed technician in Panama City today at 850-290-4341 or visit happyhiller.com. All right, player props for this evening. Let's go into our trivia question real quick since Hiller Plumbing does provide that. The trivia question: 4 players have homered on their 40th birthday since the year 2000. Who are those players? Oh, I left the answer in the answer key for you guys this afternoon. Did I, or did I take it out of there?
No answer here.
No answer? Okay, good. So, Caveman, do you have an idea?
I got a couple names maybe I throw out there.
All right. Well, if you guys, I'll give out 4 different, not the, but that boot store gift certificates here. You can only answer one time correctly. So 4 different names means we could possibly have 4 different winners. Looking for 4 players to homer on their 40th birthday since 2000. Red 7 Tees phone line 850-215-6290. Just name me one player who homered on their 40th birthday since the year 2000. All right, let's dive into these player props. Tyrese Halliburton, we talked about what he needed to do, being more active. But Banji, my question to you is he over or under 17.5 tonight?
Over. Over for sure. Yeah, he needs to be.
He definitely needs to be. That's one thing with Tyrese Halliburton as well. At the Gamebridge Fieldhouse this year, at the house, he's averaging 24 points. Okay. So I'm with you as well. In fact, I'm just going to put a little dollar bet on all of these that we answer. So I'm going to go with Tyrese Halliburton over 17.5. Then let's go to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That number sitting at 34.5 tonight. Is he over or under that?
See, this is what's scary, because let's say the Pacers do the impossible and they get into a big lead.
Yeah,
I've seen some games where Shai ends up with 12 points.
Yeah,
so that's what's scary. But I believe I'm I'm actually going to go under. Maybe like 32.
I'm going to take the under, too, and I think it'll be close. He's going to be above 28, right?
Yeah.
28 is the floor, I think, for Shea, unless it's a situation like you talked about. But the Pacers haven't really been, I mean, I guess you could say the closeout game against the Knicks was kind of a blowout, but they haven't done what the Thunder done. The Thunder, throughout these playoffs, have blown teams out. And, I mean, 16 points maybe doesn't feel like a blowout to the Pacers fans because of, what you said earlier, 15 points, 20 points, they can erase these deficits, but 16 is pretty decisive as well. All right, the next one is going to be Miles Turner. We're looking at the rebounds here, and the number that he needs to get over or under is 5.5. 5.5 rebounds for Miles Turner.
I'm going to go over. I'm gonna go over. I don't know. It's iffy with him, but I'm gonna go over.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with you right there, and it is very iffy. With there's really no rebounder on the Pacers that you're like, he's getting his numbers tonight. So that's interesting. Chet Holmgren, his number a little bit higher there, 8.5 rebounds for the lengthy man out of OKC.
I'd go over on that too.
Over 8.5. I like that. I'm going to agree with you. I'll go over as well. Let's go to the assist departments. It's going to be Andrew Nembhard. His over-under number is 5.5.
I'm going to go under because I think who knows, we might get one of those Halliburton historic assist numbers kind of thing where, who knows, he might pull up 20, 21 assists, something like that, something crazy.
So I think I'm going to go under as well for Andrew Nembhard. There's been discussion, so I had Mark Monteith on yesterday, writer, used to cover the Pacers for the Indy Star. All right, well, he was talking with Travis Best, former player for the Pacers back in the day when they went to the finals against the Lakers. And he was saying that he was going to give Rick Carlisle a call or a text or something to tell him that maybe it could be a good idea for Andrew Nembhard to kind of play the point role, to play the point guard role, and let Tyrese Halliburton be off the ball. I don't know how that work out. How well that would work out, but I do know if he was in that position, then his assist numbers would go up. But I don't know.
He got some insider information.
You're right, and we got it live on the show yesterday, so that's why I put this one on there. But I'm going to go with under because I don't think that that's going to be the game plan. Then a guy that we talked about earlier, Alex Caruso. Don't normally talk about his assist, but this a low number, 2.5 assists.
Over, because that's very low. Like, he could get that accidentally, I feel like. 1.25. We always do that with these kind of bets, is 1.25.
1.25. Well, according to that rule of thumb, I'm going to say that he gets at least 1.25. I'll take the over right there. Then let's go to points, assists, and rebounds. All of these tightened up here, or all of this in a combination. Jalen Williams, 32.5.
Depends on which J-Dub shows up.
Yeah, I know.
I would go under, honestly. It's rare. Let's say if Shea goes off like we think Shea goes off, I don't think he, in totality, puts up that. So I would go under.
All right. I'm just going to take your word on that one because Jalen Williams has, I took his under, I believe, or his over in the first game, and he went under, and then vice versa in the second game. So he's been a mystery that I haven't figured out yet. So I'm going to go under, and then we'll go with Pascal Siakam. His total is 30.5 points, assists, and rebounds.
I say over. Ooh, yeah.
This one's because it's like, all right. I'm looking at 22 to 24 points wise for Pascal Siakam tonight, which would mean 22 to 24. Let's give it its best. Let's play Mr.
24.
Optimism again. 24. So that would mean that he would need
6 assists.
Well, he would need 7 because he needs to get to 31. So he would need 6 assists and 1 rebound, or 4 assists, 3 rebounds. I could see that happening, but
24 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists kind of night, and that's all you need. So I say over.
We're gonna do it. $10 bet would be $1,000. A dollar bet would be 101. Plus, I got this little profit boost. We'll do $1 for 131. 8 bet. 8 leg prop. I had no intention on actually doing this. I just put these props together, and then I was, you know what? Hey,
hopefully we make you some money.
There you go. there you go. Maybe we'll make a little bit of money. What do you want the Falcons, Banji, to do with Kirk Cousins
trade
this
offseason?
Steelers,
which I think will be inevitable, but try to get it.
Too late now. They
this
got Rodgers.
offseason, you think they do that?
No, I'm talking about in the season. Like, no, I'm talking about because a team is going to need a quarterback in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
So whoever's the highest bidder, please take him off our shoulders. Because what was the contract? $180 million.
I think $180 million, 90 of it guaranteed, I believe. Maybe more than that guaranteed.
He might actually be the beneficiary now, like I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be. Hold out. You wait until training camp. You wait till preseason. Quarterback's probably going to go down. Hopefully a team that has thinks they have a chance to do something this year, make a run. So then they offer you a bag because they need somebody, right? Mm-hmm. So now same thing with Kirk Cousins. I mean, he's a veteran quarterback, been around. If somebody goes down, he might be the guy to look at, and the Falcons can move him, and they can probably get something nice for him.
You know what team should have went the route of Kirk Cousins and didn't? And I believe they did get a backup quarterback that doesn't make very much sense in who they got. I'm trying to think of who it was that they got, but the Colts.
Oh, yeah, they got, is it not Gardner Minshew?
Is it? No, because they've already had him.
Sam Darnold. Not Sam Darnold. Daniel Jones. There you go.
Daniel Jones. Oh, that makes me laugh even harder.
They got AR and they got Daniel Jones. So if AR's shoulder doesn't heal right or something and they have some issues, maybe you go
He could
Kirk
be
Cousins.
the biggest bust. It's coming.
Anthony Richardson. He's not going to. You're talking about of his class or? Because we can't go.
It's up there.
You can't not Jamarcus Russell.
No, I mean, his was dumb.
Yeah. And I think who would you say, which team was in the dumber position? What made the more dumb draft pick? Was it the Raiders drafting Jamarcus Russell out of LSU, or was it because like he had more time put together than what the Colts did drafting the Anthony Richardson out of the Gators?
Yes, these teams vote, they draft based on like projection, what they project this guy to be, but like they reached on projecting about Anthony Richardson.
Yeah,
though. He played 10 games in college, and you're just like, yes, I'm gonna use a first round pick on him. Like that's like when the
Niners got
Trey Lance. Trey Lance played what, like 3 games in college or something like that.
I think it might be the Raiders making the bigger mistake because like with Jamarcus Russell, like the character stuff and all that. Like you interview these guys, whatever. Like I mean, he had the talent or whatever, but there was stuff they should have had to find out. Yeah, like giving them blank tapes. Hey, I watched those defenses.
That just shows you just don't care. Like,
yeah, like I got the bag and I am good to go. So Daniel, I mean, I think the Colts could, if they're not going to make that before the season, they're not going to make another deal. They're not going to make another move. But also, what team did Kirk Cousins beat for the largest NFL comeback? Yeah, the Colts.
I don't want to talk about that either. My boy, my man, my guy Matt Ryan was the quarterback for that team, and it went south.
Oh, Matt Ryan! I forget about that little factoid of it.
Part of some of the worst comeback losses.
One of the best comeback quarterbacks of all time, Kirk Cousins, going up against the worst quarterback with the lead.
You like that?
Matt Ryan.
I hate him so much.
Oh, man. And another thing, I think you see Sam Darnold having this resurgence. Obviously, Kirk Cousins is a little bit older, but I think he gets a lot of fault for last year's performance when he was just coming off of that ACL.
He was bad.
He was bad. I'm not saying that.
He cost us the playoffs. If you watch that Chargers game last year, he cost us we should have put.
That would have just been one extra game for y'all.
Yeah, we really needed one more. Like, what do you mean? Yeah,
I'm saying y'all would have lost in the playoffs.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying that he set us back. Like he literally. Them first 2-3 weeks,
right?
Oh, I was like MVP.
Yeah, and then
Chains, Kirko Chains, and all that, and then woo! But that shows you his age because he's usually a good regular season quarterback.
Or does it show you that the Falcons franchise doomed?
Okay, first of all, I'm not taking nothing from a Titans.
Fair enough.
Okay,
fair
how
enough.
about doom for
Hey,
me?
at least our Super Bowl was close. Well, y'all's was close too. Y'all's was close.
Y'all's was what, a reach?
Yeah, we were.
Ours was
a yard short.
You could argue reach too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
James White
or knocking the ball out of Julian Edelman's hand. I know that hurts, bro. Hey, listen, we can both
hold a lead,
bond over the fact that we've been on the bad side of great Super Bowls.
It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was a great Super Bowl though. Even the comeback, watching the comeback, the Edelman's catch, yes. Julio's catch, even better.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
But I wouldn't say it was a great Super Bowl.
So,
like top 5 Super Bowl? No.
Whoa.
No.
That one's. It's always tough. Like off the top of your. You don't think it's tough to name your top? So what would your top 5 Super Bowls off the top of your head be?
I would say the Eagles, Patriots.
Eagles, Patriots, Philly special year 2017.
That's the Eagles winning, not the Eagles losing back in 2005, right?
2017.
Yeah,
2017, the Nick Foles year.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like this is unpopular, I would say Broncos, Panthers was a good one.
Peyton Manning's
last. I'd argue
that was the one he won.
If I was going to say Broncos,
watching it from a defensive Von Miller, like that was a great one.
Okay. Was that a blowout though?
No.
No, it was the next year Seahawks Broncos. That was a blowout.
That was bad. That's a bad Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was a bad Super Bowl.
49ers Ravens.
Lights out. Okay, so was that 2013, 2014?
It was a long game though, but that was good.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm young, so you know.
Yeah, no,
I'm saying Giants, Patriots.
Oh, that's got to be number one of all time. Yeah, both of them were. So what was that? What 2009? I think 2008.
And one was 08. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
yeah. Both of them.
Well, they weren't back to back. They were they had like 3 or 4 years, I believe, in between the Giant Super Bowls.
But those two.
Both of those were really good Super Bowls. Let's see, Bucks and Chiefs. That was a garbage Super Bowl.
No.
Who played last year? Who did the Chiefs play?
Man.
Who did the Chiefs play? I can't remember.
Who didn't even get past Hatfield?
One that was like a little bit underrated was the Bengals Rams. Was pretty good.
Bengals Rams was a little underrated.
Close. It was down
it was final play of the game, and the Bengals could have won that Super Bowl.
Aaron Donald, ring me.
Yeah,
that was hard. That was hard. The Rams Patriots one was bad. That might be the worst.
Giants Rams was a great Super Bowl.
A bad
that
one
was a good
too.
Super Bowl.
You wouldn't remember, but like when the 49ers trounced the Chargers back in like 95.
Yeah, I don't really remember that one. I would say my first Super Bowl. I can't, now that I'm thinking about it, I can't really think of the first Super Bowl that I remember because I guess there were so many of them.
Giants Patriots, I think. Either that or was it Raiders Bucks?
Raiders Bucks was 2004.
The Gruden.
I was living in Tampa for that. Yeah, the Gruden Bowl.
But I think I remember that.
Yeah, that was a heck of a Super Bowl. Yeah. All right, you guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest. Oh, dang it. That was our final segment with Banji.
It was fun, though.
Yes, sir, it was. All right, Banji. Hey, take care. We'll see you next week. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida, hour number 2. Starting next, we're going to be talking some super regionals, so keep it locked in here to the Afternoon Underdogs.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
Hi, this is Ryan Mulvey, and thank you for nominating the Inside Drive on the 2025 Best of Bay. To vote for the Inside Drive as the best radio show in Bay County, go to ESPNPC.com and click Best of Bay. And remember, for a brighter future, vote the Inside Drive in 2025. This message funded by ESPN Northwest Florida and the Committee to Elect the Inside Drive.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. A likelihood of thunderstorms and mostly clear skies tonight with a wind out of the east-southeast around 5 miles per hour and a low of 77. Tomorrow morning, look for a likelihood of thunderstorms and mostly sunshine with a temperature near 85. The afternoon and evening, a high around 86 and possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
This Father's Day, reward that special dad with a place to unwind and just chill out. Portable buildings for dad are available in all price ranges at Best Way Portable Buildings. The best in portable, period. Just north of the Old Mall, Highway 231, and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. And mark your calendars for June 28th and 29th from 9 to 3. It's a multi-family yard sale at Best Way Portable Buildings, a Golden Age builder.
WGSX Lynn Haven, W Field 2 Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Looking for a new way to explore Bay County? Or maybe your trusty bike needs a tune-up? Head to Steve's Bike Shop. They've got a huge selection of new and used bicycles, plus the latest electric bikes to get you where you need to go fast. And if your bike is acting up, their expert technicians repair all makes and models, even electric bikes. Serving Bay County for 46 years. Steve's Bike Shop, 1924 West 23rd Street, right across from Sam's. Steve's Bike Shop. Your ride starts here.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. This is where heroes are created, legends are born, and dynasties forged. The Sports Talk Monster, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
Welcome back into the doghouse. This doghouse was built up by CBC Construction. You can head to their website, cbcconstruction.com, or give them a call at 850-747-3815. You can call or text us at 850-215-6290. That is the Red 7T phone line. They are the brand that brands you. I'm David Hayes along with Caveman Rick and Morgan Hilliard, and with us for hour number 2. Morgan, how are you doing today?
I'm having the best day. You know, it's been a day full of surprises and everything is beautiful. And I just got a beautiful, wonderful gift from Caveman Rick. I feel like this has to be talked about. He has given me Dr. Pepper sweet and a bit sassy baked beans.
There you go.
I think it's great, but also...
If it was sour and a bit sassy, I think that would just be like the epitome of you.
Well,
just kidding.
I am a Sour Patch Kid. Sour, then sweet. Actually, it might be a little bit back and forth. Like
a little bit back and forth.
It's like Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah, there you go. Start slapping and then pulling your taste buds.
No,
like,
literally.
Yeah.
That's me.
There you go. Well, glad that you're doing well. Again, we just had Banji Bombadella in with us. He's your local sports reporter for the Panama City News Herald. Make sure you support by going and checking out his articles.
And for those who don't know, it's because she likes Dr. Pepper, guys.
Yes.
Like, I just don't go around giving people, like, random people, like, baked beans.
Baked beans.
Yes, he does.
The magical fruit makes you toot.
Okay. No. Continue with the actual show.
All right. Blake Barber texted in. He's with the Beach Marlins. They got a great organization over there. All parents of 7 and 8 year olds. They are going to be having a meeting next Tuesday at Arnold High School football field before conditioning. Whether your child is brand new to football or already loves the game, this is a great chance to learn, grow, and have fun. So next Tuesday, Arnold High School for 7 and 8 year olds. If you're looking to play some tackle football with the Beach Marlins, or you can reach out to Blake Barber on Facebook. All right, so let's dive into it here. What do you got on college baseball? We'll start with the Super Regionals, and hopefully we can make it to the next segment, and then we'll dive into our picks for the upcoming College World Series.
First question, do you think that they would let me go play tackle football with the 7 and 8 year olds? I'm about the size of them.
No.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I think you'd have to play with adult girls.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I am small. I'm not very
You're
strong
small.
either. Not very strong.
But 7 and 8 year olds are, I would say, a little bit smaller.
You think so?
I would say they're more vertically challenged than what you are.
Some of these kids are like not average in 7 or 8 year olds.
Yeah, but I'm going, well, do you know what the team looks like?
No.
How about we do this? Blake, if you're listening, text in to me and let me know if Morgan could come try out. Maybe, how about we do this, Blake? Let's do this. She can do the conditioning with you guys. Would you be okay with that?
That would be fun.
Maybe we'll put her in an Oklahoma drill if the parents will. Maybe one of the big kids will, like, his parents could sign a waiver and y'all could go.
I can notarize it. I'm going to get tried.
Notarize your
draw
own.
one up right there. Actually, I think it's illegal to notarize your own, because I saw somebody that was a notary asking if somebody else could notarize their stuff for them. So
yes,
I notarize my own bloodbath right here from an 8-year-old in football. Great stuff as always, Morgan. All right, what's your next order of business today?
Okay, so
all right.
I feel like we need to back up 1 week because Rick is finally here.
Okay.
He won our last picks for the week. I just wanted him to know that. I don't know if I ever actually told him that or told you that.
Yeah, we did mention it last week. Yeah, and I just didn't want to. Sometimes his head just grows and grows and grows when you do stuff like that. I mean, today, actually, he hasn't even said anything about it, but he's done pretty well on the old Hard Rock this afternoon.
Okay. I see.
But see, like, I'm not going to be that guy that's going to brag, I won all this money. And, like, I'm not telling you about all the other parlay bets that I'm losing my ass on. You know what I mean? Like,
I think I'm talking more about my losses on this show than I am about my winning. So, it was fun while it lasted. The sweat was nice. Felt like I was in a sauna.
Yeah.
All right, back to you, Morgan.
Never let David do your bets for you. That's one thing.
I don't know. They'll probably hit if I'm doing it for other people, but when I'm doing it for myself, no.
So with Rick winning last week, this week though, over the weekend, AG almost had a perfect Omaha 8 if Duke would have won against Murray State, which I think is a really interesting situation, but we'll get there. If Duke would have won though, AG would have had a perfect Omaha 8. He went 7-1. But that's honestly very incredible.
Yeah.
Very incredible to correctly pick all those teams. I know we're going week by week, but I thought that was a really fun tidbit. I even texted him. I was like, oh my God, I hope that Duke wins just so you have a perfect 8.
And all 8 weren't there last year either.
Yes, correct. It's the first time since 1957 that we are not having a returning team from the year before come to Omaha.
That's so wild that LSU and Arkansas weren't there last year.
Yes.
That's so wild because we're talking about two teams. It's been a while since Arkansas has been in the Championship World Series, right? 2018, where they lost to Oregon State. But LSU, they won the championship the year prior to that, right?
Yes, neither of those teams returned, but someone else did. I'd have to look up and go back and do all the deep dive. But I didn't have enough time for that because I was busy Googling other random stats because I'm just so good at that. Stats are like my Jimmy Jam. Anyways, where do you want to start? Did you watch any of the games over the weekend, Dave, Rick?
I mean, it's on. Like, it was kind of in the background, some of the games, but I wasn't paying the closest attention because I had other stuff going on, like, like Hard Rock stuff and junk like that. So,
Saturday, I watched a couple of series, but they were opening series, so there was no, Sunday, not much. And then Monday, I watched the end of Murray State and Duke.
Okay, fair. Well, I officially have no life because all I really did was watch baseball. And I will say that this has been such a great set of matchups, just really good baseball being played. And I have thoroughly enjoyed being an enjoyer instead of like rooting for my team and, oh my God, I hope my team doesn't have to face them. I've really, really enjoyed just being on the other side of it and just getting to watch everything unfold. Duke, they had such a hot start Friday, put up 18 against Arizona, and I was texting a friend during the game, and I was like, oh my God, this is either going to go really well for them or it's going to blow up right in their face. They're going to waste all their runs today. And that's kind of what they did. I mean, after that, Arizona kind of had them in a chokehold.
That's why I was a little worried about Murray State, right? Because they had the close game with Duke. In the first one, Duke wins 7-4, and then what was it, 19-9, I believe, for Murray State. So it's like, oh, did they score too many runs? And I know that doesn't really have a true meaning to the game on what you did yesterday, but there is the momentum, and sometimes you can get so high on the momentum that you don't actually follow it, and you just kind of expect what happened yesterday to continue on, and those slight thoughts can throw you off. But I'm really happy that Murray State ended up making it, though. That was awesome.
They have a really incredible story. There's a couple incredible stories going on just in the Men's College World Series. Overall, I really, really enjoyed. Yes, Chris. He said that Arizona played UNC and Duke played Murray State. I think he might have just caught the end of that conversation and heard you come in with a different ball game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. Anyways, so
just don't pay attention to Wright State. Wright State, Chris, if you got any more comments, well, keep commenting them. But you could also call in 850-215-6290.
So Murray State, they only have like 800 fans that quote unquote fill their stadium.
Yeah.
And then Dan Skirka cuts the grass himself.
Which is the head coach there?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty phenomenal, which that's like a high school baseball type thing, right? But just wild. And the fact that this run has been really unexpected from a team like them. Not just because they're caliber, but I can't remember the last time Murray State, have they ever made it to this level of the College World Series?
This is their first ever CWS appearance. So that's really exciting for their program. I think he's a really down-to-earth guy. I really enjoyed his interview Monday night whenever he, got his time on the mic. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about his son joining him on his travel to Duke, and he was like, yeah, he got to play in the pool all day, and he ate Chick-fil-A, and now he's somewhere in the stands. And I was like, that is an ideal day, my guy. Mm-hmm. That is an ideal day. Go to the pool, get some Chick-fil-A, and then just be hanging out at a game.
Sounds like your normal Saturday.
Yeah, it's a normal Saturday for me, except I'm watching from the couch.
There you go.
So it's not.
But if you had virtual reality, you'd be right there in it.
It would be even crazier.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to invest in that. I don't know. Another crazy thing coming out of this series, though, was, did we see another poaching in real time and didn't even know it?
Which one are we talking about?
We're talking about Chris Pollard here. We are talking about Pollard, Duke's head coach. So for those who aren't familiar, not following, or unaware, or are following, I'd love to hear your thoughts if you are. So Duke lost to Murray State Monday night, which put Murray State going to Omaha. But Tuesday morning, D1 Baseball announced that Pollard will now be going to West Virginia. And this is the crazy part, though. I didn't see this until earlier. This was released later on. But he spent the last 12 seasons with the Blue Devils. I knew that. And he guided their program to 4 NCAA Super Regional appearances. But he's also taking his pitching coach, Brady Kirkpatrick, and the recruiting assistant, Derek Simmons, that coach, and another hitting coach, Eric Tyler. This feels very familiar.
Yeah, especially to you with the Longhorns bench boss right now.
Yeah, that feels very familiar. What do you think, Dave? Go ahead.
I don't have any clear thoughts on this one. I'll say this, though. It's hard to prove when they're getting what is the word that I'm looking for here?
I used poached.
Yeah, poached, but there's a certain word, tampered. It's hard to tell when a coach is getting tampered with because the coach doesn't want to let you know that either, especially if he's courting the idea as well. But I would rather, if a coach does get poached, he takes the entire staff rather than anyone staying on the staff from behind, because I think that you get blurred lines. I think we saw that at Texas A&M, right? This year, Early takes over, but he was on the Schlossnagle staff, was he not? Yeah, so
he was our hitting coach.
And Early doesn't want to have Texas A&M in not such a great spot, right? But it's one of those where I believe that once you cut off from a certain administration, I think you should just start brand new from the top. And so,
fair enough.
But as far as tampering goes, you're never going to stop it.
Oh.
So that's in this particular instance, I guess I hate it for you, Duke, and for West Virginia. I hope it works out for you.
So
your thoughts?
It feels very familiar. It doesn't feel as bad as what Schlossnagle did, although there's still a level to a degree that it is bad, and it is what it is. My only hope is that they maybe would have released the story a few days after, but I know everyone wants that headline and that wow factor. So, I mean, that's kind of unfortunate to people who are true fans and other people who like Chris Pollard, who will say watching his in-game interviews over the weekend, he didn't give me the vibe that he was being tampered. I looked back several times on Schloss's interviews while we were in the CWS, and there's just something very disingenuous with all his interviews leading up to when he walks off the stage and he says, write that. Okay, well, write this. No. But Pollard didn't give me a vibe that seemed like he was disingenuous or leading Duke down a bad road. I mean, it really did feel like Duke was trying to stay in the fight, especially with how Monday's game ended.
So, real quick, you said that you feel sorry for Duke, right? So, let me just ask you this. Is it West Virginia?
Do I actually?
Is it West Virginia step down from Duke? So what I'm saying is like, I don't feel sorry for Duke. They already got like great basketball team. They're a great institution. They got a good name. They can go out there and pretty much buy or get any coach they're probably looking for the most part. I don't feel bad for Duke.
I don't actually feel bad for Duke. I really just did not have any.
Just checking.
As Morgan would say, and we're not meaning the same thing, no notes on that.
I didn't say I felt bad for Duke.
No, I said that. I said I felt bad for Duke.
I didn't say I felt bad for Duke. I said I felt bad for fans who are probably experiencing the same thing that I've already lived.
Wait, hold on. Who are we talking about right now? Are we talking about the Duke coach? Where's the Duke coach going to?
West Virginia.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay.
That's what we're talking about.
All right, that's what we're right. Well, I just got a text from someone else saying it's West Virginia. No, the Virginia coach O'Connor went to Mississippi State.
Yes.
So now we're all on the same page. Which we in here in the building, we were already on the same page. But then I'm getting conflicting. So anyways, we are talking about the Duke coach Pollard, who is now taking the job at West Virginia. Parker says, I think Pollard was lackluster at Duke, so they might come out better from it. I think that I would say this. It doesn't matter what I say on that. Where I'm getting at on that is I have no idea who Pollard was before this moment, and I'll have no idea who he is after this. So I don't have a huge take on this. And this is the time of the year, like really one of the only times of the year that I'm watching college baseball as much as I am. And we just talked about how much I watched it in its biggest weekend of the year. But I will say that this is going to keep on happening. And, this is where my brain was trying to go to. When you brought up the weight of this one, like how it doesn't feel the same as Texas A&M one, and that's for me, and I know that you're not saying that from the position of being a Texas A&M fan. It's just the weight of that decision and how much that meant. Because where were the Aggies at that point in time? Not just in the College World Series, you know what I mean? Not just on the exit of the Super Regionals, but the day after the final game of the College World Series. So I think that's why it had such a feeling of magnitude, why it feels a lot larger and maybe more so, more tampering in that situation than what we were seeing out of the West Virginia Duke situation.
I agree with you. It doesn't feel like it hurts near as bad, but also I have seen that since this decision has been announced, that 7 of Duke's players have already entered the transfer portal, and most of them being pitchers. There you go.
All right, what else do we got from College World Series action, Super Regionals action here?
I really liked Coastal's coach as well, Kevin Schnall, and everything that he's kind of built up into this point. I really like the Chanticleers and what they're putting out there, but I really liked his post-game presser after it was decided that, after they beat Auburn. I really liked his presser talking about how his personal life also plays into the game. I'm waiting for you.
Say that again.
What about his personal life?
How his personal life has played into the game. So the last time they went to Omaha, he talks about how his son was really sick and unable to travel, and he was really let down by the fact that he wouldn't be able to travel with the rest of the family to go experience this wonderful moment they were going to have while in Omaha. And then at the end of the presser, he said he's better now. I don't know what his exact condition is, but he's better now. He'll be able to go, and he'll be able to experience this time around with them all over again.
Is he going to get to play?
I don't think his son's old enough to play. This is his son we're talking about.
Yeah.
I hope he's a kid. Hopefully he plays. Most kids play.
He gets to do whatever he wants. I don't know his condition either. It's just something I saw. I couldn't really find anything about what kind of condition he had. I don't know. You have the Google right in front of you.
Well, yeah, but I'm lost on that. I'm looking up other things. What's next on the College World Series list for you today?
A break, actually. It's 5:20.
Nope, not just yet. We're going to go for 30 more seconds. All right, so it is not West Virginia where where Pollard is going to. It's to Virginia.
I'm sorry, I wrote that down in my haste.
It's all good. I'm just trying.
To people I let down and are calling me out right now.
You did not let anyone down. We're just clarifying, because I'm confused as all get out. That's where you're reading about that next story, and I'm just all right. So how is this all playing out right now? And it's just because I'm reading the other comments. But what we are going to do is get back into some picks in the next segment. Does that sound good to you, Morgan?
Sounds fantastic.
All right. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has the most college and local sports anywhere on the Panhandle. Join the Coach Hale Show, mornings from 7 to 9, live from the J. Michaels Studio.
Best seafood, the Coles beer.
High school coverage, the SEC and beyond. It's all right here. Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Of course, it helps when you're a multi-millionaire.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. A likelihood of thunderstorms and mostly clear skies tonight with a wind out of the east-southeast around 5 miles per hour and a low of 77. Tomorrow morning, look for a likelihood of thunderstorms and mostly sunshine with a temperature near 85. The afternoon and evening, a high around 86 and possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
TK Vandy Roofing and General Contracting is a fifth-generation contracting company based right here out of Bay County. TK Vandy's expertise in commercial and residential roofing, as well as a design-build general contractor, set them aside as a versatile and fresh alternative to achieve your construction needs. Contact TK Vandy Roofing, 850-866-9908, or email support@tkvandy.com. They can't wait to help you.
Are you thinking of doing a fundraiser? Well, Krispy Kreme Donuts next to HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan says, let's raise some dough. Earn up to 50% profit with a Krispy Kreme fundraiser in-shop or online. So let's raise some dough. At Krispy Kreme Donuts next to HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan.
Live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. The mission?
Your mission, should you decide to accept it.
Save the Panhandle from boring cookie-cutter radio. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
The state will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What is going on? You're back at the Doghouse Riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. No Atlanta Braves tonight. They already played the Brewers and won today 6-2. They are off tomorrow. They'll get back to it Friday versus the Rockies at Truist Park. Cover starting at 6 o'clock for a 6:15 first pitch. Braves baseball sponsored locally by Bill Bird Kia, PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Hewitt Tire and Auto, and Hometown Towing. All right, so we talked about coaching moves and other notes from the Super Regionals. What are we diving into next, Morgan?
Well, real quick, I just want to give a quick shout out to the Win Within football and cheer camp happening June 28th from 10 a.m. to 2. Hometown hero, and it's a great cause. It's held at Tommy Oliver Stadium, blah, 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 too many words. And kids get in free. They are looking for volunteers, and it's a great, if you're looking to advance your kids, I can't think of a better thing to do with them on a Saturday, honestly. If you're looking to get out of the house, it's a free event to attend. So have fun with that.
Yeah, it's a great camp as well.
Yes, very good camp, and it's right here, keeping it local. I love that about it as well. Let's do some picks. I'm going to let you guys go first, as always. Who do you have winning in the game one, Arizona or Coastal Carolina?
You start off, Caveman Rick. I'm going to listen to your picks and take the opposite.
Are we just going game one, or are we going for the series?
Well, so there's no series with these. It's going to be game one, and then it's a double elimination tournament. So that's why we can't really pick any further into the future, because then it gets too convoluted and you're kind of picking against what your hopes were.
All right, so give me the French chickens.
Oh, there you go, going with the Chanticleers. I also am going to go with Man, this one's actually a lot tougher. Which of these first round games would you say is the toughest game to pick?
I don't know.
So for me,
I've looked over all of them, and honestly, it's I'm so torn on a lot of different ways. My head says one thing, my heart feels another, and I don't know which way to go. This is what being a man feels like.
Kind of, except for maybe less options. You really just got one option.
Maybe a woman when she's trying to decide what she wants for dinner.
Yeah, there you go,
That's
Rick.
not true. I know what I like, and I always pick the same thing.
Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, I went there today.
Over and over again, like a dang Tim McGraw song.
They never get it wrong.
They don't. You've never gotten it wrong?
They never mess up my order. I have never had my order messed up. And
Do they call you by name when you pull up to the drive-thru?
They know me by face and name.
Okay, well then there you go. There's the reason why they don't mess up your order right there.
Next time you go, you just jinxed yourself. You're going to get somebody else's.
Yeah, we're just gonna. I'm gonna call all of the.
I'm gonna get Tyler on this. I'm gonna get Tyler on this. A little inside job here, and we're gonna get it messed up.
What Chick-fil-A does great is they only really have one item on their menu. So even if I got someone else's order, I can't be upset because I'm still technically getting what I wanted.
Unless you don't like pickles on the sandwich, and then you get pickles on the sandwich.
All right, I'm not getting.
That's not true because in breakfast they got sausage and stuff. They don't just have chicken.
Okay. I usually go for lunch, though. I'm not usually there for breakfast.
We put our law hats on.
No, you really did. You got me there. You really got me there.
Don't get mad at us. Let's see, Coastal Carolina and Arizona. Tough one for me. I'm going to go with Coastal Carolina. I think it's going to be because of the edge that they're pitching is going to give them. They got the second best ERA in the country at 3.25, and their walks to hits per innings pitched is looking nice as well. And the offense has gotten better through the last stretch, and they're on, 23-game win streak, which was nominated by you for Best of the Week as well. Let me get Coastal Carolina in Game 1. And I think a lot of these West Coast teams in this tournament as well.
Rick, you're picking Coastal Carolina as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
French chickens. Or French roosters, whatever they are. But
okay.
Yeah, French.
I'm also picking Coastal, and you said pitching. I'm going to go with the catcher, Codine. I don't know. Their catcher, though, the point here, he's nominated as a finalist for the Buster Posey Award, and I think that's really cool as well. They have a lot going for them, and I think that they're pretty locked in. I'm also going Coastal for this win.
Sweep them out. What's next?
We have Oregon State and the Cards.
I'll take the Beavers. I like Oregon State. I like the colors black and orange. Sorry, AG. Cardinals go down.
This one, I was wearing that jersey today, Morgan.
Because you thought he was going to be here?
Yeah.
Aww.
And then I just put it on his chair as a little, not RIP, but, like see you next week type deal. Was going to wear it for him today, and I'm not picking Louisville by any stretch of the imagination. Louisville's a great squad here, and both of these teams in Omaha for the first time since 2018 for Oregon State, 19 for Louisville here, but give me Oregon State. They've got a heck of an offense this year, and that starts off with their shortstop, Ava Arquette.
Oregon State, they might have a heck of an offense, but they've also got a heck of a fan base who put up a beer wall over the weekend as well.
Hey, let's go.
They got in trouble with NCAA. I thought that was hilarious. They were really putting them away. The Cards are playing really good ball. Oregon State also playing really good ball. This one, like I said, all of these picks are really hard for me. I've gone back and forth on this one. This is one of those ones where I feel like the momentum will switch a lot, and it could really go either way. I'm going to go Cards because AG is not here to defend himself.
Oh, come on. Whatever. Did Rick pick that one? Did you take Oregon State or Louisville?
Yeah, I picked Oregon State.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Moving on to the other side of the bracket. Where are we at with that one, Mo?
Okay, so to the other side, for Game 3, you've got UCLA and Murray State.
Murray State, first time being there, man. They're like the Cinderella team right now. I got to keep with them. Got to go with Murray State.
It's going to be so hard not to pick against Murray State for me. Number 4 seed to make it here. 13th in the nation and runs scored at this point. Also the second highest of the 8 teams in Omaha. They got several players hitting over 300. I'm racing with the Murray State Racers and Jonathan Hogarth. Let's go, man. I would love to see a Coastal Carolina Murray State final. How awesome would that be?
I think it would be really, really good. I like that both of you guys are sticking with, your heart. It was easy for me to pick against UCLA last week.
Yeah.
With what the Roadrunners did. But I'm having a really hard time picking this week. It's very hard for me to want to pick against them. I think the Bruins are also playing very good ball. I don't know. Man, this is just a real, like I've said, it's been great baseball. I'm happy to be a part of all of it. I don't want to seem like a follower, but I really also would like to race that way.
There we go. So then that's a sweep for Murray State, then, which is automatically guaranteed take UCLA. This is where my wrong betting will help you out, is if you hear three people go the same direction on this show.
Kiss of death.
Yes, you might as well just bet in the opposite direction. And then the hardest series, in my opinion, that's the question that I asked you to start out before we started making our picks here. This is the toughest series but toughest opening game for me. Arkansas and LSU. Caveman Rick?
I want LSU, man. I want to see them down a bunch of jello shots. I got to keep going, man, to win. So LSU.
I'm going to take the Razorbacks right here. They're the favorite of all the teams in Omaha, which isn't normally my way of picking, but I've been riding them, much like I was riding Texas A&M last year. Going into the tournament, I was saying Texas A&M was my favorite to win the whole thing. They fell short to Tennessee. Tough ending for them, but Arkansas has been that team that I felt like from the beginning of this tournament. Not that I am any sort of clairvoyant or Nostradamus in this, but I like Arkansas and what they bring to the table. I think this is going to be the toughest game of the opening four games, though, between Arkansas and LSU. Give me them Razorbacks.
You know, as an A&M fan, if I ever want to feel true pain, I just rewatch the last game of last year's CWS.
You have so many references to go back to, though.
I know, and I literally just think about Braden Montgomery, miss you, and I think about Jackson Appel, and I miss you. Pour one out for my guy. He's not dead. I just miss him. But then I also think about how we pulled our first base coach, who was also the 12th man at the time, an eligible player, and we put him in for a hope, and that ball falling short just a couple of feet. I mean, it's just so much pain wrapped into one game. If I really need to cry, I turn that on to just get it going, just get it out of my system.
At what point in the game do the tears start falling for you? Is it as soon as you press play because you know what the eventual outcome, or is there a moment in the game where you're like,
I think it's when we get our first hit on the board, and then I start crying. I was like, I know what happened. I know what's coming.
There's so much hope right here, but it will never amount to any satisfaction.
No, if you ever want to, feel some true pain, just imagine being me and rewatching that game all the time, just so I can get my feelings out of my system. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about.
Just imagine being right here in this, point of the season, not college baseball, but college football, and you're an Aggies fan, you're looking forward to man, we've got a chance to win the SEC. Then November rolls around, still got a chance to win the SEC. Then the first week of December, and hey, we're going to a bowl game. That's the year in and year out for the Aggies, right?
It's not football season. It's baseball season.
There we go. Focus on what's ahead.
Let's focus what's right in front of us. I'm not going to prep myself to start crying. I just think about what's in front of me, and that's what's in front of me. Anyways, Arkansas and LSU. I like Arkansas as a team. I like LSU as a team. I don't really favor either one of these teams. I mean, it's kind of impossible to from my stance and fan base, but I think I have to go LSU here. I think they just have a little bit more grit to them, and they have a little bit more composure. I'm pretty sure that for their first game, they may go with their ace, Root, and I think he's just, I don't want to say that he's a hothead, because I don't think he is. He's very composed. I just think he's got a little bit more than emotions tied up in this, and I don't know how that's going to work out for them in the end. I'm going to go LSU here.
I like it. Okay, yeah, so we've made all our picks. What's next?
Yeah. Whatever you would like to
All right, well, I know exactly what we're doing next then. You said that you've got a ranking now for the mustaches and the College World Series. Now, do you have one? How many players do you have? We need to know how long the countdown's going to be.
Not a lot.
Not a lot?
Not a lot.
4, 5, 6?
No, like 3.
Okay, all right. Because I was going to try to take the time and get pictures of all the mustaches, so, and put those up there on Facebook.
I have one on my phone, actually.
Oh, there you go. Maybe we can get a little zoom in of that. But, yeah, we'll talk about Mo's best mustaches of the College World Series. Start with the bottom number, the highest number, whatever, and work up to 1.
Blue and yellow team. I can't think of their name right now. He's got the handlebar. First of all, it's just...
Were they in the Super Regionals?
Yeah, it was just...
UCLA?
No. They were in the regionals. It's just kind of a sick, nasty look. Like, you don't really see a lot of guys rock that anymore. Let me pull it up while I'm talking about.
Right.
You don't see a lot of guys rock that kind of stash anymore, especially this day and age. It felt very old school, and like the look was there. He was definitely pulling off. He's definitely up there in looks that he is achieving. And where is the photo? Hang on, sorry. My camera roll is longer than
Is this team still in?
No. Found it.
Oh, West Virginia.
Okay.
Country roads, take me home. There you go. So it's like a handlebar mustache. Yeah.
Looks like the Hulkster. Take your vitamins.
Yeah, there you go, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
Hulk Hogan, I guess.
So there you go. That is...
That's number 3.
That's number 3. Mustache number 3.
All right.
Moving on to number 2.
Number 2, the NCAA...
No more pictures?
No more pictures.
Oh,
the NCAA gave this man... young man, an award for the best mustache in the league, and that's Duke's Ben Miller. However, I don't agree with them.
Okay.
I don't agree with them. The points on the end are just doing a little bit too much for me. It's just a little too extra. I don't love it. It's a great mustache. I just don't love it. I really, really don't. Do you see what I mean?
Actually, I see what you're saying. So it's like one of them detective mustaches or whatever.
It's just a lot. I think it just comes up kind of high.
Yeah.
If it came a little bit lower, it would be better in my opinion. But this is my personal preference, not anyone else's.
I wonder how long how much effort and time you have to. I don't know.
And how do you know you're going to get it that pointy?
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions I have. If I ever do a meet and greet with Ben Miller, I'll ask him.
That's a lot more time than I have. I'm going to invest it.
Yes.
I would never invest more of my facial hair than I do on this beautiful, the beautiful locks that I have on top of my head.
I know what you look like without a hat, so okay.
Yeah, which I don't have any hair, so I'm not spending any more time on a daggone mustache than I am up there. There you go.
My favorite mustache in the league, the Australian at Arkansas, Brent Iredale.
What's he do?
Third baseman.
Third baseman?
Yeah. He's got like a very standard mustache.
Oh, we're still talking mustaches. That's right.
Yeah, this is my number 1 pick. Duh, this is who I'm spending my NIL on. I like his mustache, even though I think he might have shaved it. I wasn't able to tell if he still has it or not. But that's
Do you know what his name is?
Yes, I just told you. Brent Iredale.
Brent Iredale.
Iredale.
All right, I'll try to look
That's
that
where
one
I'm
up.
putting my money.
All right, well, there you go. Those are the best mustaches in the College World Series. Oh, did he play at Arkansas before he played at LSU?
What? No, he plays at Arkansas right now.
Oh, why did I think you said LSU? I don't know.
Oh, because maybe we're just talking about them matching up.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe so, or maybe. There you go. Brent Iredale, though. That's the best mustache?
I like it. I like how it's
just like
very
normal.
traditional and normal. He's not doing too much. Yeah.
So then there's got to be
normal.
like 50 other dudes that are tied with this guy for the best mustache.
But me personally, and I think he might have a cool accent. I've never seen an interview of his. He's Australian.
There you go.
Don't know.
So based on the assumption that his accent is cool, that takes his mustache to a whole nother level.
Yeah. There's ranks in this. Power rankings. That's why.
Power rankings. And it starts with your mustache. Thanks for nominating the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and the Coach James Hale Show in the morning as your favorite radio show in the Best of Bay from the News Herald. To keep your radio fun and positive in Panama City, Lynn Haven, Panama City Beach, 30A, and across Bay County, go to ESPNPC.com and vote Ryan Mulvey or Coach James Hale for Best Radio Personality in the Best of Bay. And thanks for listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Any notes any more from college baseball before we do move on? We don't have to move on.
I mean, I have a couple of interesting things. They're pretty much just stats, but I did.
Here's what we'll do. Let's go ahead and we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back, and we'll let you wrap the show up.
I like it.
All right. It's Caveman Rick, Morgan Hilliard, and David Hayes. We're the Afternoon Underdogs. Final segment of this Wednesday afternoon coming up next.
Call or text in now on the Red 7T's studio line. 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
How thought out was firing Tom Thibodeau? Because I thought, okay, then you know who you want to hire. If I'm Jason Kidd, do I want to leave the opportunity to coach Cooper Flag? Unless Jason Kidd and Giannis get reunited.
It's the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. A likelihood of thunderstorms and mostly clear skies tonight with a wind out of the east-southeast around 5 miles per hour and a low of 77. Tomorrow morning, look for a likelihood of thunderstorms and mostly sunshine with a temperature near 85. The afternoon and evening, a high around 86 and possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Get ready to discover new adventures this summer and hit the road in a new 2025 Kia Telluride from Bill Bird Kia. Whether you're traveling on the highways or off-road, you'll do it with grace and grit. Now offering 3.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Telluride. Experience what everyone's talking about and stop by for a test drive. Discover the perfect fit featuring spacious 8-passenger seating, premium interior, and advanced safety and technology features. Bill Bird Kia, the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. The road is yours this summer in a brand new Kia from Bill Bird Kia.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Telluride with $2,253 per $1,000 financed at 48 months. Qualities limited, cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 7/7/25.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. Pound the like and crush the subscribe. Follow us on social media for the latest sports news, scores, and updates. Keeping you in the game. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. ESPN Northwest Florida.
You're back in the CBC Construction Studios. You can call CBC Construction at 850-747-3815 or visit their website at cbcconstruction.com. The phone line is 850-215-6290. That's brought to you by Red 7T, the brand that brands you, or visit their website at red7ts.com. All right, final segment of the afternoon. Caveman Rick, Morgan Hilliard, I'm David Hayes. We are the Afternoon Underdogs, and Hiller Plumbing, their confident service technicians, will provide you with the solution for any home plumbing, heating, or cooling problem. Let us show you how we can make you a happy Hiller customer by contacting your trusted licensed technician in Panama City today at 850-290-4341 or their website, happyhiller.com. You had a couple of subjects tied to college baseball that you wanted to dive into before we dive into some would you rather questions and some Major League Baseball topics. What you got for us?
I'm a stat girly. I love weird, random stats and things that tie together. I like watching how many people they have to choose from year to year when they go to choose an award. And when I was looking at Coastal Carolina's catcher, I fell into this rabbit hole that I unfortunately could not climb out of. Anyways, what I took away from it and what I really loved from the stat world is that 92 catchers from 27 conferences were nominated during their nomination process, which is really, it's not even a full month window. It's only about 3 weeks. And of those 92, they had to get it down to 13. I would hate to be on that selection and voting committee. That is a lot of people to sift through.
You said from 92 to 13?
Yeah, they had to go from 92 overall nominees to 13 semifinalists, then to 3.
Whoa.
That is a lot of narrowing to do. And their window to submit just to be a nominee is only from February 12th to May 9th. I mean, that's really not a big time frame.
No, especially if you're someone like me who, I got plenty of time to do this. And then May 9th is, or whenever, May 9th. Yeah. That date shows up. It's like, well.
Sorry, I read that as March in my head. I might not be all there today. I read that as March. I literally read it as March in my head. And I don't know why I did that. Sorry. That's really not a big big time frame, though.
No, that's even, well, it's February to May, but I think that makes the procrastination aspect of it even larger. February to March would be like, hey, you better get this done. But yeah, whittling down any type of list from players. I mean, you're talking about all-time players.
Yeah, and and you're only looking at one position, but it's a lot that goes into that position. It's a very important position on the field. You have to be able to execute really well, especially in D1 to fill that role. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was fun. Sorry, I swear to bring it back to normal. Anyways.
No, we don't like normal around here. We like abnormal.
Anyways, I have another weird stat, and some of this I had to find on my own. So, for the Golden Spikes nominee.
Best player in baseball, right? Or is that the fastest player?
There's so many awards they hand out, I couldn't tell you if that's like legit or not. I'm not sure. There's so many different awards. I looked at NCAA, just handing out random awards. I looked over here, I looked over there. I'm kind of frazzled.
Best amateur baseball player in the United States.
There you go. So 13 of the 25 nominees were in a super regional, and 4 of those 25 will be going to Omaha.
Okay.
And 5 of these 13 that I've whittled it down to play a very certain position. What do you think that position is?
Shortstop.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Very, very correct. Very, very correct. That's all I got stat-wise. Anyways, let's talk about something I find very, very fun.
Major League Baseball. Who do you think wins of the 4 that are playing in the College World Series? Who would you give the best edge to? And name those 4 players. If you don't have it in front of you, I'll pull it up because I think that could be fun.
I don't have all 4 pulled up. I have Wahiwa Aloy. He's a top 3 finalist for the overall award. And then you have Cade Anderson, who's a pitcher at LSU. You have the Oregon State shortstop. You said his name earlier. I can't quite pronounce it. Actually, I do have,
right?
Yeah, I do have all 4. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And then
you have Rock Chalowski.
Oh, UCLA.
Okay,
yeah.
so no, he's not going to the 4th. So who's the 4th guy?
But UCLA is going to the.
Okay,
they're in the College World Series. Yeah.
Brain moment.
No, you're
yes,
right.
So I did have all 4.
Yeah. Oh, that one's tough.
Yes.
I got like little tidbits
and
on each of those guys.
On different teams as well.
Yeah, which is that makes it really interesting.
Makes it it's just as hard as our regular picks, I think.
So Arquette 348 in the regular season, 17 home runs, which his teammate Gavin Turley broke the career home run record at Oregon State with 52 home runs. He's got 4 home runs in the tournament, but Ava Arquette is the player that we're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then who else do we have?
Cade Anderson, the pitcher for LSU.
Cade Anderson. I don't think I have any stats on him from LSU. Aloy is one that you mentioned, right?
Yep.
He started every game for Arkansas this year and leads them in every major offensive category. He's hitting 348, 20 home runs, tied for 4th most in program history. And then our final one, Chalowski, great name right there, leads UCLA in nearly every statistical batting category. He was the Big Ten Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year and holds the best WAR in the nation. So by that's why I'm going to go with Roch Chalowski.
So there's another top 3 finalist, and I'm not saying this right. He is also a shortstop at FSU. His name is Alex Lodice.
Lodice, yeah.
Am I saying that right? His brother plays at Georgia Tech and was a semifinalist.
Awesome.
What are the astronomical odds they both end up as on that roster?
Right.
What are the odds of that? I would love someone to do the quick math and be able to text it and tell us, because I can't do math in my head. I don't even know who I am, apparently. Anyways, we only have a couple minutes left.
Yep. Yeah, so dive into your next story.
So
we're not talking Fahrenheit right here. We're talking Celsius.
The MLB, I saw a very interesting tweet the other day where they named that Celsius was at the top of their do not use.
Do not drink, the D&D.
If you can be as nice as you can without officially banning it on their approved energy drink list. I had to search far and wide for the NCAA one, but I imagine that the MLB one can't be too far off. Anyways, at the top of their list, though, this is actually banned throughout the NCAA, is Celsius drinks.
Have you ever had a Celsius drink?
I drank one yesterday.
Oh.
Actually, I've got a powder mixed with water in my cup right now.
A powder of Celsius?
So they do like the powder packets.
Yeah.
And you just mix it with water and you know.
It turns into an energy drink.
That's what I'm drinking right now.
Is it carbonated or is it?
No.
It can't be carbonated.
I just mix it with water.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not carbonated. They say you can mix them with like
Mountain Dew.
water.
Perfect.
Yeah, that sounds crazy. But what I found interesting about the NCAA's list is that they have the regular C4 energy drink approved, but they banned the C4 pre-workout. What's the difference between the energy drink and the pre-workout? It can't be that different, right?
Oh, I guess it could be because pre-workout is going to contain a little bit. I would imagine it's going to have more oomph to it. I don't know what
that
ingredient is causing the oomph, but I would say that it's got a little bit more than what just a regular energy drink does.
Okay. K-Man Rick, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, like they're all probably bad. They're all bad for you. You know, like saying some are worse than others. I don't know. You know,
it is wild. C4 being banned. That one's allowed. Okay, the pre-workout
is banned,
right?
But the energy drink itself is allowed.
Yeah, I don't know. Now they also they came out and said that this is that some drug tests are popping for cocaine because of Celsius. Is that the same energy drink?
So
probably.
Celsius has an ingredient known to flag as cocaine in MLB drug testing, and although it's not officially banned, it's strongly discouraged.
So I did a deep dive on this to find out why it may randomly pop as a positive on a drug test. And the only thing I could really find that's equivalent in people's study across the map is that it's not an actual drug, it's the acid structure. Pretty much what it came down to is some
the LSD. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Some amino acid structures that are featured in these energy drinks have structures that are similar to drug structure, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that nicely. But supposedly they're very similar, and that's why you can sometimes get a false positive.
So, according to Celsius is completely safe and is enjoyed by professional athletes, fitness enthusiasts, and college students as part of their fit lifestyles. Claims that Celsius could cause one to fail a drug test have been proven false, and there is no merit to these claims. It's worth noting Celsius, and this is not from Celsius anymore, this is back to the Bleacher Report article. It's worth noting Celsius has sponsorship deals with athletes in various sports, including Olympic gold medalist Noah Lyles and 136 college basketball players who participated in the men's and women's NCAA tournament this year. There's been no public indication that anyone has failed a drug test in general, let alone for anything else.
You would think the Olympics, it'd be more stringent than the NCAA.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know?
Unless they were well, never mind.
Among these other drinks, so you've got Ghost energy drinks. I've never had those. Monster energy drinks. I can believe that one. Bang energy drinks. I've never drank one of those.
Those Bang energy. I drank those a couple of times, and then finally I looked on the back because I would just feel weird after drinking them.
Geeked out?
And they were, I guess, I don't know, but just like shaking and like, oh yeah, did not like that feeling. And it was 2 servings on the back. You were only supposed to drink half the can. Was it the Bang and Red Line? Red Line was even.
Red Line. That's literally what the name meant, and no one understood that. No one understood. I thought before I knew what the line actually meant, I didn't realize it was supposed to be like an entire thing. And there's also Rain on here. I've never tried. The only one off this list I've actually tried are Celsius and Monster.
Yeah. The pre-workout is loaded with niacin, makes your skin crawl, also makes you think it's working better than it is. C4 pre is loaded with niacin. Let's get over to the the phone line, Red 7T phone line. And we've got a stranger who's normally in the building with us. AG, we got about 3 minutes. What you got for us?
It would have had a lot longer if y'all shut up.
Well, maybe about 30 seconds more, but still not enough time for you, my friend. Go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to say go-karts back in the World Series. Nobody thought it could happen, including myself, going into the postseason. Super excited. And I just want to say Coach Brian Haddad Come on, man. He's on Coach Hill's show this morning talking about they need to reseed the World Series because LSU and Arkansas are playing each other.
Go
if
SEC.
If there were two top teams from the same conference that wasn't the SEC, he wouldn't say a single word about it.
Well, he did say that in the college softball tournament, but that was also littered with SEC teams across the board, which this one's not littered with. But, yeah, I think that he does have I think he's got a point. But then one thing that I noticed after the college softball tournament that I guess I forget year in and year out is that you don't just sit there and play in your bracket the whole entire time. You'll come out and play other teams until they whittle it down to the final two. So I don't have as big of an issue with it as what I thought I did last week.
I don't have.
Well, my thing is,
go ahead, Adrian.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I don't have an issue with it because even if they played someone else being two SEC teams, and to say, what if they won, the SEC team won, and then they're inevitable maybe going to match up anyways. So get it out of the way, get it over with, give other people a chance. I'm okay with it.
Well, I was just going to say, when do you start the reseeding? Who reseeds them? Like, how does that happen, right? So Louisville comes out of the number one region in Nashville out of
I'd put them at 8.
So you say that puts them at 8 and not 1, so now they're not the 1 seed?
Yeah, that's where I would personally just Louisville off rip, just 8.
But you see what I'm saying, though, right? Like, I mean, how are you supposed to reseed this?
No, I get where you're coming from. What would you go? Maybe Arkansas 1. What's that?
Are you supposed to reseed the supers as well? Like, where does it start? Where does it stop?
Well, because the supers are, well, I mean, that you make a good point right there. But the supers are kind of maybe not reseeded, but the higher seeds getting to host. So I think, AG, to be honest with you, that's just a conversation that we're going to have to push to next week or next year.
Yeah.
Well,
do what, Rick?
Go by record, man. Your record is what you say. You are what your record says you are.
I don't think that's true. Louisville had second least wins in this tournament, but they're just now healthy, so they're not the same team they were going into the postseason.
I do know one thing. There's only one thing that can help you right now, and that is wins, right?
100%. If Louisville's able to get 2 wins in Omaha, look out. They're going to be trouble.
Bye, AG. Love you, brother.
Bye,
See you guys. Love you guys.
For Caveman Rick, Morgan, anything to leave the people? I got 5 seconds.
I'm just going to say, if you're going to reseed, do you also reseed other sports like basketball 64? That's impossible.
Jesus loves you. So do I. Y'all have a great night.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. Quarterbacks can be a lot of things in the NFL.